Celebrate Poster is one of the most unique add-ons in the game, and while it was talked about a lot on the PTB, after its nerf coming to live, I have heard little about it and even seen some calling it just straight up bad. Today, I want to go over why I think it's good and why it's honestly my favorite add-on, not only on Springtrap, but in the entire game. So, what does it do? After embedding the fire axe in a survivor, all players benefit from the following effects that are within 32 meters of that survivor. They are granted 12% haste, and they are granted an increased vault speed of 20%. Both of these effects last until the fire axe is removed or the person is downed. Pretty much when a survivor has an axe in them, anyone within 32 meters of them, that includes Springtrap and them, gets haste and a faster vault speed. So why is this good and what can it do for you? Well, the haste effect is the major thing that needs to be talked about. 12% is not nothing, and it makes hitting longer range axes more advantageous, letting you catch up faster. But even for close hits, allowing you to stay on the survivor and make grabs much more common.
It should also be noted that the way the math works on Springtrap is you become 115 after you throw your axe. So technically you're getting 5% plus the 12% from Poster. So you're actually going faster than any time you would with Springtrap if you land the axe, which can be used in combination with certain perks like Play With Your Food to save its stacks. It also allows your lunge range to be extended as it's tied to your movement speed, being a pseudo coup de grace. Thank you, extra lunge. The vault speed also has its advantages, as while the survivor getting the extra vault speed too, there are not that many survivor perks that help them leverage this as much as there are for killers with things like Bamboozle, Superior Anatomy, and my personal favorite, Unbound, granting even more haste. It really is an add-on that can be addictive, as the feeling of landing the axe then getting a speed boost is unmatched. What I see many saying is its big issue is good survivors will leverage the haste and vault speed to make loops that they wouldn't have made before. But my counter to this is what I think is Celebrate Poster's true advantage, and that is in the macro of the game. I don't mean splitting pressure, but I mean the math of a chase. No matter what happens in that chase, it was 12% faster. It's hard to fully explain, but you both get the buff at the range, so it's really just shooting that chase in overdrive while the rest of the match is going at a normal speed. And this is something that is hard to show, and why I think many don't like running it. The results are kind of hidden, and many see its problems rather than its upsides. So a quick visualization of how Poster is really working. So this red circle here is where the axe is being embedded in the 32 meter radius it has around it. Everything happening in this circle is happening 12% faster. Everything outside of it is happening at normal speed. So again, basically everything here is going into overdrive, thus making this section and this part of the match go faster, which in essence is helping your macro game and making the game, again, faster within this area.
There's also the argument of the vault speed being way more beneficial for the survivors, as they also keep the haste while they're doing the vaults, and it can make some loops virtually impossible for you to play around. Again, my argument for this is that the loop still would have been harder to play around. You both get the vault speed, you get the extra lunge, and the survivor gets the extra vault, basically, as their benefit. There's things in here you can play around with it that I think make it worth running. What I will say is that you kind of do need a dedicated build. That is the one problem with this, and it's a problem with a lot of Springtraps add-ons, to be fair, but I actually think this is an okay problem to have. I'd rather him have add-ons that he has to build into rather than add-ons that are completely useless, like Office Phone. But the other thing with this, again, is just the feeling. And a bit of control it gives you also in the chases should be also noted. While the 12% movement speed and the vault speed they have is very beneficial for both sides and can be leveraged depending on the loot, depending on the situation, you have control of when you're taking the axe out. Yes, they'll have it for a little bit, but that 12% speed is, again, both of you. The entire chase is going 12% faster, thus making it more beneficial for you as the killer. Again, you have this little bubble of space where the axe is embedded that is causing the entire chase to be 12% faster than the entirety of the rest of the match, which, again, is hard to visualize. I'm trying here as best I can, but that's basically what's happening here. The other concern I hear is body blocking, because a lot of people say they drop the add-on once they not only lowered the movement speed from 20% to 12, but the fact that it hits everybody in the range. The reason this was done was to stop Springtrap from throwing the axe into one survivor and then sneaking up on another survivor and just doing it as a hit and run kind of playstyle. That's why it was done. Now, the one thing I will say with this is, yes, it can make body blocking a little annoying with it. However, if they are doing this and they're not doing gens, then you can run something like Force Penance to very easily punish this. On top of that, again, most of the time when you're doing this, you're doing it on the survivor you are currently chasing. If the other survivors want to use that haste effect for body blocking, they were going to do it anyways. You are all going at the increased speed. There is nothing in this that is benefiting only one of you, unless you bring perks to leverage it in a specific way. If you haven't tried this add-on, I highly recommend it, and it can combo with almost anything else. Here's a few suggestions. Foxy's Hook. Hit or miss, you get the move speed buff, and if it's a bad spot for the 12% haste, you can miss on purpose just to get the buff from Foxy's Hook. Purple Guy Drawing. Many survivors will try to pull the axe out more often than they normally would when they're hit with Poster, making the aura reveal removal way more common. Paper Plate. This basically gives you 1 extra second for them to pull the axe out. Again, if you're going for grabs or have a build around it or really just like the grabs, that 1 second of leeway can be the difference. Faz Coin. Hiding your red stain while having the haste can make you unpredictable at loops and lead to faster downs on top of its longer lunge. Then there's the perk combos. As mentioned, any vault perks, but Unbound and Superior Anatomy, are a massive boost to help you catch up at insane speeds. Then there's Play With Your Food, that, as mentioned, you will not lose stacks on grabs and can be used to keep your speed even faster throughout the match. Give me that. Batteries included is also great, as it can let you maintain and even be faster speeds in these chases and catch people off guard. Something that should be noted is that Overcome is a perk that can counter this add-on in a very strong way, as the extra speed means the survivors have more time than normal to set themselves up for the chase. Quite the contrast to the last add-on we talked about, but I truly do believe Poster is not only a super unique add-on, but one that can pull Springtrap's whole kit together. And I wish more people would give it a try and see what it can do. And it can lead to a healthy playstyle, as wanting to throw the axe to go for those longer range hits can be much better than trying to zone with it or just use it for back revs. Curious on your thoughts?
Love you guys as always, and see you in the next one. Bye.
Subscribe, damn it. I'll be back. I always come back, and so should you, you moron.